So thank you very much for attending the webinar. I really appreciate you taking the time to go through this with us. And I'll begin with telling you a little bit about Sunshine. My husband, William, was a solopreneur, if you will, for many, many years. And then in 2012, we got married, and I was a business coach. So we restarted Sunshine in the Denver area. He was up in the mountains, so our story really begins in 2012, probably a little bit towards the end of 2011. But my background is I was a former international VP with AT&T Wireless, and when my international assignment ended, I came back to the U.S. and became a business coach for 7 years, and I coached 17 different kinds of trades, including the SBA Emerging Leaders Program for the City of Denver for 2 years. And I was on the radio, SPN, with a show called Coaching Not Just for Sports. Currently, I am the Secretary-Treasurer for the local PHCC here, and I act as President at Sunshine. So my husband manages all of the technical end of Sunshine and the field, and I manage everything having to do with the office, marketing, customer service. William's background is he started as a plumber in 1986. He is second generation, and he had a company with 10 trucks, and the mountains were calling him, and he left and came to Colorado and started all over again. And he was doing a lot of solar thermal and boilers and mechanical type work up in the mountains. In the end of 2011, he started moving the business down to Denver, and we started that by using Angie's List. And I'll tell you a little bit more as we go through our success with Angie's List. And then in 2012, I took over as president, and we grew our revenues from 2012 from 177,000. We will hit 1.4 million this year. We ended last year at 1,096,000. And we just moved into a new facility, which clearly has a very bad parking lot because the Cintas truck is completely in a hole in our parking lot right now with the water up around his tires and mud. It is really quite disturbing, but I had to leave all of that excitement and come in and meet with you all this afternoon. We did just win. You'll see as we go through the presentation. We just won this Friday. We were named the fastest growing company in our category by the Denver Business Journal with 534% growth in the 2-year period. So we were super excited about that. This is our mission statement. To be the premier boutique plumbing, heating, air provider in the North Metro Denver area, to put customers and service back into the plumbing, heating, air conditioning business so that we achieve the highest level of client satisfaction in our industry. My technicians do not like the word boutique. They think it sounds like a ladies' dress shop, but really the word boutique means small and custom, and that's really what our intent is. We do not have the desire to be, a big, giant George Brazil type company. First of all, we're not young enough to start a company of that size. I think we'd be like 80 by the time we got that big. But our goal is really to probably grow to 5 or 6 more trucks and really just settle down from there and then start looking forward to what our retirement plans are. So that's why I use the word boutique as much as it irritates my technicians. So that's why that word is in there. And so that's the story. So here's the summer of 2010. My husband was doing mainly solar thermal. Here's our team. So the woman in the black shirt has been with us from the very, very beginning, and she started as a part-time person to answer the phone for us, and now she is our office manager. So we're super excited to have her. We just added another HVAC tech, and we are looking for a boiler technician, which is like finding a needle in a haystack in this market. So that's how we plan to grow our team for this winter. Here's our new location. See, it's nice and dry there. You can't tell that parking lot. Once you put rain on it, it turns into a big minefield. So some background on us and some of the awards that we have received is, like many of you, I'm sure, we've won the Angie's List Super Service Award for 2012, 13, and 14, Gold Star and Better Business Bureau. We are now a finalist for the Torch Award. So on November 5th, we'll find out where we stand on that. We've been named Best of Home Advisor. We've been nominated for Outstanding Women in Business by the Denver Business Journal, Small Business of the Year by the Colorado Women's Chamber, PHCC Contractor of the Year we were nominated, and we just won the Fastest Growing Company. As you can see, because we are a woman-owned company, we really cater and target towards the women demographic. And even if you're not a woman-owned company, and most companies in PHCC are not, you still know that the woman is the person usually in the household that makes the decisions on anything having to do at the home. So a lot of our marketing strategy and all of our soft touches and high touches that we do in our company are all really geared towards the family and the women in the home, with regards to safety, and we present ourselves and all of the other touches that we use, because we know that that's our market. There's over 800 plumbing companies in Denver, and I'm sure that some of you are in larger markets as well, and you have to find some way to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack. And so we can all say a lot of the same things. We're insured, yes. We're licensed. Yes, we are. We're master plumbers. We're journeyman plumbers. We're NATE certified HVAC. We have EPA certifications, and the list goes on and on and on. However, what are the things that you can say that are different about you? And people really respond to the fact that we are family owned and that we really are very, very high touch. And I think that has been the key to our success. This is a comment when we went for the Torch Award interviews, which was really scary. We had to go down to the Better Business Bureau and go into this panel of judges, and they had sat there and asked us a million different questions. But afterwards, I got a call from one of the judges, and surprisingly, he asked me to come and speak at his Chamber of Commerce. He's the president of a small Chamber of Commerce here in Colorado. But he said, I'm going to ask you to come do a talk, but I'm going to name it. And I was like, okay, well, no one's ever really done that before, but go ahead. What do you want to call it? And so he said, Sunshine Plumbing, Heating, Air is a customer service company that just happens to be able to fix your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. So when he said that, I just thought it was really cute, but then the more I thought about it, I started thinking that that is a really good tagline for us, that we are really a customer service company. We focus on the customer and making the customer happy, and our product just happens to be plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. So I think that our foundation in customer service and our baseline really for the future could set us up to be any kind of service company, just using that platform of how we deliver services to our customers. So that gives us some ideas and creative ideas for the future. Here's some of the things, some of our awards and badges. If you're not using these, I really, really encourage you to get them out on your website and in your newsletters and on your Facebook pages and all of those things, because this really is how people are shopping now. They are not looking in the phone book anymore. They are looking at your reviews, and your reviews are everywhere. Like them or hate them with Yelp. I'll tell you a little bit about Yelp. So we didn't really take Yelp all that seriously in the beginning, and that was a mistake, because Yelp now is so integrated with all of the other search engines out there that they have become a force to be reckoned with. So for those of you who have iPhones, after this presentation is over, I challenge you to ask Siri on your iPhone, who's the best plumbing company around here? And, we make jokes. We're like, who's the most rockinest? Who's the coolest? Who's the best? If you ask Siri who the best plumbing company is around, your business is probably going to come up on that Siri search. When it does, look at the little letters at the bottom of your listing. It says powered by Yelp. So everything that's through Apple and Siri and all the voice commands is all powered through Yelp. So by not taking them seriously and not paying attention to their reviews and what people are saying on Yelp is a mistake. And I know it's a hassle. I mean, I know that they filter out a lot of the good reviews. And I know that, you know, you could get 5 good ones and then you get 1 stinker and then it drops your stars. And there are fake ones out there and things like that, but really focusing on that Yelp and knowing when you have a Yelp customer that calls in that yourself or your technician really takes very awesome care of that customer and making sure that they write you a review or at least a tip or check-in or what have you, so that your Yelp stars really affect the rest of your marketing. And we found that out sort of the backdoor way, but since we have focused on our Yelp reviews, and we do use Review Buzz, so every single one of our customers has the opportunity to review us on any of these places here now through that. So that's been a big key. Being we're not standing up in front of the room, what I want out of this workshop, you could definitely type this in and I can see that. If there's certain things that you want me to cover, I may get to them later on in the presentation, but if not, if there's something in particular you want to ask, please feel free, because I would love to be able to address that as we go through. Here is just an example of our revenue and marketing spend. So I went 2011, that was really William working by himself up in the mountains, $177,000. And he did a lot of bigger boilers up there. So that really wasn't a whole lot of money when you take into consideration what the equipment was costing and all that. He really didn't have a lot of profit up there. But now for this year, so you'll see where our marketing spend went. So we went from $2,254 to $20,898. Now this year, 2015, I have a big kick in the marketing because I put on a new website last year, and I also bought a sponsorship to this really big women's organization called Camp Experience here, and it was expensive, but we are the only plumbing and heating company involved with this organization out of 4,000 women. So for us, knowing that women are really our target demographic, that investment in the marketing was well worth it. And we also have invested more money this year in pay-per-click advertising because it's really working well for us, and it gives us the ability to ramp it up. If we're having a slow week or a slow month or what have you, we can throw some money into pay-per-click, and then that gives us the opportunity to just get the phone ringing again. And I do, and I don't know how many others out there do this, I spend a lot of money, or a lot of money, it feels like a lot of money, it's a lot of time. I spend a lot of time out in the community networking. This week alone, I have 6 different networking things that I'm going to, whether they're a Chamber of Commerce after hours, there is leads groups, networking opportunities, luncheons, what have you. I am always out there networking, and that is really one of my big roles in the company, is to get out in the community and just meet eyeball to eyeball with people who can be our clients. I also do a lot of work with realtors. I do not like property managers. Some may argue with me on this. You may have done great with property managers, but we have found as a smaller company and not having a lot of history and a lot of cash reserves yet at this point in our business trajectory, that being able to float property manager invoices for 60, 90, sometimes 120 days, we do not have the ability to do that in our company, and I don't want to do that. I want to get paid on the day of the job. And so by just dealing with John Q. Public, we get paid at the end of the day. If we're doing an install of any sort, we will take a deposit and we collect on the day. So I do not have any receivables, and I like it that way, and I'm going to keep it that way. And we really founded ourselves on being a cash company, and that's just the way it goes. So realtors, I do invest a fair amount of money into realtors, and what I do is I go and do breakfasts for them. So I bring in a beautiful, pretty expensive catered breakfast, and I go into the real estate offices and I make a brief, maybe 10-minute presentation to all of the realtors. I bring some swag, some keychains, some water bottles, things like that, deliver a really beautiful breakfast with my tablecloth on the table and a whole bunch of business cards and brochures, and we get a ton of business from the realtors. So eventually that business, what I'm investing now in the time and the breakfast and all that, we'll just continue to get that business, and we will not have to spend as much money. And the realtors just love our customer service. They feel like we are over the top, and I'm going to share with you here today on some of the things that we do that are really sort of outside the box of customer service. And I will share with you, everything that we are doing is nothing new. I am not some creative genius that has come up with all these great customer service ideas. All I've really done is just looked at over the years what other customers, what other clients of mine in the coaching business were doing, and finding things that I thought were really wonderful, and we started using them. And we started using them consistently, and we started using them all the time, and that really has been the secret sauce of Sunshine and making us grow this quickly. There we go. So we're going to talk about creating raving fans. So we feel that there are 4 different customers inside of any business, and the business must serve. So if the business is serving the customers, that is us, the owners, and that is by giving us a paycheck. And for all of you out there probably chuckling, you're like, yeah, we didn't get a paycheck for a while. And you know what? We're no different. We can totally empathize with that. It's just this year that we're really starting to be able to make some profit, and next year is really, the future is looking pretty bright for us. But it was tough the first couple of years, and I think the first 5 years always on any business is tough. The next customer that we serve is our team. So we must make sure that we're providing them with recognition, rewards, a great paycheck. All of our technicians are on commission only. They do get hourly if they're doing maintenance work or training or what have you, or they're going on somebody else's recalls. But for the most part, they are on commission. So these reviews and this customer service is very, very important to our technicians as well, because it makes it a lot easier for them to do the job and for them to sell. So when they walk in with a reputation behind them, or they met me at a networking event, they are ready to buy a water heater. They are ready to buy a furnace. They are ready to buy an air conditioner because they've already done the research about us and they've heard all of these great things about us. The next customer is our suppliers, and we serve them by paying our bills. That is just, it is what it is. And then the next is the customer, by serving their needs. But we really try to over-deliver. There's a statistic out there, when you look at why customers leave a business and why they stop doing business with a particular company, and there's all these different reasons, like 1% of them die, 3% of them move away, but 68% of customers leave you because they think that you don't care. They think that their business is not important to you at all, so it doesn't even matter. And one of the things that we try to build here is a ladder of loyalty, and I don't know if you've heard that phrase before, or that philosophy of the ladder of loyalty. Our ladder of loyalty started way back in the day with William doing toilet tune-ups. In the Denver market, Angie's List, I think, works a little bit differently than some of the other markets. We do not pay Angie's List at all to advertise on their site. The way it works here is that if we want to do a big deal or a promo or anything like that, or a special, they will take a piece of it. So we started out doing these crazy toilet tune-ups for $25, and Angie's List would pay us $12.50 out of the $25 that they collected. And then it was our opportunity to get into that person's home, do a plumbing inspection, build a relationship with them, and try to gain their business the next time something else went awry, and we became then their plumber. And then when we added HVAC, then we became their HVAC department as well. So building this ladder of loyalty by starting off with maybe a lost lead or something simple in the beginning helps to build that lifetime value of a customer. It also reduces your need to spend a lot of money on marketing. So when you first meet a customer, someone first calls your business for the very first time, we say that they're a suspect. They're not really a prospect yet. They are just calling for information. They're calling to see what you have to offer. They're calling because maybe they saw an ad. They're not really engaged with you yet. And then we also follow a philosophy of using a 10 by 10 marketing plan. So in our 10 by 10 marketing plan, I am always using different types of marketing strategies and really creating our unique selling proposition and our guarantee. So we are after the wallet share in the marketplace. You know, market share is irrelevant if we're not getting them to be putting all of their business towards us and in our direction. And all of the different ways that we advertise. Some of these are a little antiquated. We really don't do any newspapers or yellow pages at all. We do some local magazines, and we find them to be really, really successful. But we do a lot more on the internet and a lot more with reviews. And then we look at the people who fit our target market. We know that target market people are, of course, people who own their homes. Primarily women are the decision makers. They're people with children. Most of our clients have kids. They're in residential areas. They're in the suburbs. That is really our target market. We do, however, though, because of our great presence on Yelp, we really are creating a reputation among the younger generation, and because we are a really higher tech plumbing and heating company, I think, than most, our target market of the younger people, the younger generation, really likes us because we do some crazy things that are not, you know, standard. We don't use any paper whatsoever. We're completely paperless, and we have been from the very first day. And I'm going to go through our 12 points of love with you and explain all of those. But, you know, we keep trying to target that younger generation because we feel that that is going to be the sustainability factor in our business for years to come. If we can capture that 20 or 30-something now in our business, we have the ability then to keep them as a lifetime customer. And then when they do need a water heater and they do need a furnace and they do need an air conditioner, they're going to come to us. And when they hear that their friend from work needs someone, they're going to refer us. And that's really important to us, delivering that great service right up front. So the next thing that we do, we look at people who are then a prospect. So once they become an actual prospect and we collect their information and they are now in our database, we send out newsletters at least once a month. If there's some kind of crazy weather pattern or what have you, sometimes we'll send it out a little more. But what happens after the sale is what really is important. So this is where we take action and collect their details, and this could also be someone that I meet out at a networking event or in one of the realtor sessions, or I go to lunch with realtors a lot, more than I would like to. I really could stand to be in the office a bit more, but I am always out there with these realtors going to lunch and getting information from them and trying to build relationships and telling them about our customer service. So then we go up to the shopper, and then they are actually someone that we go and service. And then a real customer is when they buy from us a second time. So the 80-20 rule is that you're going to get 80% of your money from 20% of your customers. We are trying to expand that 20% though, because if we can deliver really great customer service now in our first 5 years and really make it a 5-year strategy, we feel that after that our marketing costs are going to drop significantly and people are just going to be awesome repeat customers because we've treated them so well from the very beginning. So we look at what their needs and wants are, and we do that by surveys and asking them, and then what we know is that people want more than what they expected. Here's something else that we do as well, and I've had some people argue with me on this or scratch their head. We really are always looking at the value of our customers and where is the ideal customer. So A's are awesome, B's are the basics, C's are the can't deal with them, and the D's are dead, right? So the dead customers, those are the people who don't pay, or they're abusive to our dispatcher, or they're abusive to our technician, or they're just people that we don't want to deal with. We won't deal with them anymore. And then that C customer that can't deal with them, those are the people who are just like always complaining, you can never make happy. We really try to turn that around, and we will just put some extra sugar and, be as nice as we can, maybe make an extra phone call out of our process or what have you, and try to turn that C customer into a B. But if they continue to remain a C customer, we mark them down as do not service, because the more time that we spend on people that we cannot, no matter what we do, make them happy, we are then taking away energy and focus from those awesome and basic customers. And the awesome customers are the ones who love you, they pay you on time, they refer you to all of their friends, they write reviews about you that are fantastic, and hundreds if not thousands of people see it. So we really try to focus up in that top part of the awesomes and the basics. And I make a joke, and it's turning into not be a joke anymore, because I say, and I said this to a customer. So we had a customer, we installed a swamp cooler, which I don't know if any of you are in the market where you do swamp coolers, evaporative coolers. Not every state has them or needs them or will even work there. But here in Colorado, we do swamp coolers. My husband being from Detroit and me being from New Jersey originally, we don't even know what a swamp cooler was. So anyway, we start doing swamp coolers, and they turn into be a colossal disaster because most of the time they're up on a roof. So to repair them, to replace them, to whatever you need to do with them, it's just a hassle, and very few technicians are really skilled in it, and it's just a cheapo way of getting air conditioning in your home if you don't have ductwork. It's a couple steps below having a mini split system put into your home. So we had this lady who we did a swamp cooler on her roof. And we installed it, and our installers are fantastic, and she climbed up there on a ladder and did not like the way they put the caulking around the swamp cooler, and she wanted us to redo it, and she wouldn't let it stop. So we sent a roofing company out there, and they flashed all of the roofing around the swamp cooler. We saw pictures of it. It looked fine. She still was not happy. And no matter what we did, we just could not make this woman happy. And there was lots of other contractors working on her house at the same time, and they all felt the same way, that she was just is unable to please her. So my saying to her when she was calling and hollering at me for like the 10,000th time, I said, you know what, we have a 98% customer satisfaction ratio. We make, out of 100 people, 98 people are delighted with us. And then there's 2 that are just like you, that no matter what we do, we can't make you happy. And I put her on the do not service list because, for us to be spending that much time and energy on someone who, unless she has a drone or a mirror on her roof is never going to notice that that flashing is not the same color as her neighbors. You know, we just don't have time for that, and we just want to move on and find other people that we can deliver great service for, and they're going to appreciate us. So that may sound a little callous, but really we're after 98%, and the 2% that we can't make happy, we would be happy to refer them to a competitor. And then the next person in our sales hierarchy in our ladder of loyalty is a member. So these are people who have been with us. They're part of our Sunshine Club. They get priority, and we really, really want to make the shoppers, customers, members. We want to keep moving people up that ladder so that eventually they're all members. And then when it comes time for William and I to retire, that we are going to have a great business with an outstanding reputation, with a great customer base, really loyal people, and a lot of maintenance agreements that we'll be able to parlay into our retirement. So that's where we're headed. And we say they have a member's kit and they feel like they belong. Now that we moved into our new office in January, we're going to have a big open house, and we are inviting all of our customers that we love to come to our big party. And we are going to open up the shop, and we're going to have food and drinks and beer, and you know, just invite everybody and really have them celebrate our growth, because it's really a reflection of them and them referring us and returning to us and being loyal to us. So the party is really to celebrate our customers and not so much to celebrate us. And this is really about those relationships. And I've said that word many times already through the presentation, and I can't stress it enough of how us going out in the community and building relationships and being really thoughtful and intentional with those relationships and treating them just as we would treat a relationship with someone in our family is really helping our business to grow. And it's definitely a softer, different approach than just marketing in somebody's face all the time and big screaming ads on TV and what have you. I mean, we do it a little bit softer, gentler way, and I'm going to tell you all of the things that we do. And one of the reasons we do that is through the emotional bank account, right? So we make lots and lots and lots of deposits in our customers' emotional bank account. We send them brownies. We send them thank you cards. We do follow-up calls. We bring them wine. We send them cards. We do all of these things to make our customers happy, because when we need to ask them for a referral or we would like them to come and buy something else from us, then we have sort of the favor, it's already been paid. So it's sort of a pay it forward type of situation, because we're being so nice to them that they are definitely going to keep using us again. So now we go back to the advocate, and we have so many of those advocates. I was just looking at our numbers. We use Service Titan as well. So and the reason I love Service Titan, if some of you out there may use it, some of you may not, I mean, the information that I can get out of there on where my marketing is working and where it's not and where our business is coming from. What I'm looking for is a trend that every single month my previous customer revenue is going up. So I just keep looking at that, and as long as that number is going in the right direction, that's a key performance indicator for us that our business is on the right track, because the more previous customers that we get, those are more members and advocates in the system, then that means that I can start cutting out some marketing money on the bottom and increasing our profits. Because you saw that I didn't spend a whole lot of money on marketing, but I did spend a lot. And this year, you know, as I said, in 2015, we did spend more than that. But we will now start ratcheting that down starting next year, because we've gotten our existing customers' numbers significantly higher. So, and the advocates are somebody who tell others about you. I mean, we have some raving fans out there that are just amazing and send us tons and tons of business. So a question to ask yourself, are your customers leaving you feeling just satisfied, like, yay, they did a good job, or, oh my goodness, this was like the best experience I've ever had with a service contractor? And that's what we are after. We want them to walk away from us feeling like we have totally just done the best job that they have ever had. And we had a review like that on Yelp yesterday. It was just like the ladies, like, I saw them in the newspaper and I wanted to try them and it was awesome and they are the best and I highly recommend them. And those are the kinds of reviews that we are after. Like, we want the really mind-blowing reviews. So customers want more than they expected, and it's getting higher and higher. And here's the raving fan part, and here's some of the things that we do to get those raving fans. And we try not to wait until there's a problem. So we call every single customer, every single one, and do a happy call. First, before that, we send a survey through the Service Titan process. When the technician is dispatched from Service Titan, the customer automatically gets an email with their photo. And it introduces them to the technician, tells them about their background, tells them who they are, how much experience they have, what kind of license. To back up a little bit further, the day before, they get an automated call. We use a service called Reminder Call, which is super cheap. It costs us maybe $30 a month. They go into our Service Titan database every afternoon, and they pull out all the phone numbers of the jobs that we're going to have tomorrow, and they make a call, and it's mine and William's voice. And we say, this is Susan and William Frew from Sunshine Plumbing, Heating, Air. We just want to remind you that you have an appointment with us tomorrow. If for some reason you need to cancel that, please call our office right away. So that's sort of how we set the tone. Then the technician dispatches and they get the email with his picture. At the end, so then he does the estimate with them at the kitchen counter in their home. We make sure that they always have booties, they have a nice shirt on, they have their name tag, they have their jacket, their truck's in good condition, it's out in the front of the building, all of that. So once they're in there, then they send the customer an estimate on the iPad. At the end of the estimate process, or ticket, if they sell the job and it's a receipt, they will automatically get a feedback review because I have ReviewBuzz and Service Titan linked together. So we were in the beta test of doing that, and now I think it's been rolled out, or it is being rolled out to everyone. So as soon as we close the ticket on Service Titan, they get a ReviewBuzz survey asking them how the service was. If the service was less than a 7 on a scale from 1 to 10, I immediately get notified of that, telling me that somebody is a little unhappy. And that gives us a heads up that we need to go out and talk to that person right away. But we do call every single customer within 24 hours to see how their experience was. But that survey, gives me a ding right away that somebody is pissed, and I need to take care of it right away. And usually most times why a customer is unhappy with us is something to do with scheduling, that we were late or we're not on time or we promised we'd be there at a certain time and then we were running behind or something to that effect. So then the next time is we keep innovating. So customers will keep expecting us to get better, so we keep coming to try easy things and giving them that wow factor. And one of the things we're working on now is that consistency. Because we grew so quickly, we had a really tight process together when we didn't have as many customers and employees. But now that we have a lot more people in the office and we're not all sitting together because our office now is a lot bigger and we're all spread out, we feel like we're losing a little bit of our communication. So we are going back to the drawing board now, and we are putting forth a lot of effort into writing systems again, revisiting our systems so that we can have that consistency to make it easy for our customers to buy and make sure that they feel wow. So we're looking forward to that. And this consistency is really, look at McDonald's. Nobody usually says that McDonald's has the best burger in the world. However, it's the same burger. So if I get a burger here in Denver and then I fly to LA this afternoon and have a burger in LA, it's going to be the same. It's going to be in the same wrapping paper. It's going to have the same toppings on it. It's going to be the same bread, the same size patty. And that's what makes people coming back because they know what to expect. So that is why we really are, it's a big push for us now to focus on this consistency and systems in our business. So here's our 12 points of love. So we are not a 24-hour shop. We would love to be. We have, as many of you know in your markets too, we have a very serious labor shortage here in Denver. And I run advertising and try using recruiters and every other method I could possibly think of to get techs. And sometimes it will be a month where I'll be running ads and I will not get anyone to answer them. So I would love it if I had 5 more guys, which we could definitely handle with the volume that we have. If I had 5 more guys, we would be on a 24-hour system, but I don't have it. So we do have somebody who answers the phone live 24 hours a day. Sometimes it's us, sometimes it's an answering service who has a very strict script that they ask questions, and then we get text immediately with who's called, what happened. We also get an email. I mentioned earlier that they receive a reminder call. Then once the technician is dispatched, they get an email with the technician's photo and their background. We also call, the tech will call 30 minutes before, which our customers love, and some people just sort of forget to do that. So if they're at work or what have you and they're within 30 minutes of their home, they love this feature that we're going to call and be like, hey, we're 30 minutes out. If you want to get, make sure you start working your way home and we'll be there as soon as we can. Then they get their estimates and receipts electronically. Immediately after they close the ticket, as I said, they'll get a survey. Then we send out to every single customer, they get a card with a picture of William sticking his head out of this orange toilet, which is really funny, and people get a chuckle out of it. It has a $25 card in there. If they spend more than $400, they get brownies. We use a service called Send Out Cards that does the brownies and the cards for us. So we just go in and enter the customer information into Send Out Cards. The brownies with postage cost about $8. The card with postage costs about $1. But we just really like the ease and convenience of it. I'm sure if you had enough staff, you could probably do it in-house yourself, less, cheaper. But one thing that's always concerned me is the safety of the brownies. Now, I can make a joke that, we're in Colorado, we have special brownies, but we don't. I just was always worried that if we actually bought packaged brownies here and mailed them out, that they could get damaged and turn up to be a big pile of crumbs by the time they get them. And secondly, what if someone got sick on those brownies that we were mailing out of our office? So I just felt it was safer and more consistent to use the Send Out Cards, even though it probably is a little bit more expensive. And then I also didn't need to pay anyone to do all of this mailing. So then they get their thank you note, they get the email with specials, they're offered the Sunshine Club to save them money, and we always waive our trip charge if we do the work. We also have, and our trip charge is only $29, so it's not very much, but we do waive it if we do the work. And there are certain groups that I belong to that we don't charge a trip charge. So for some of my realtors, we don't charge it. We have special rates for them. We don't do huge discounting for their customers, but at least it's something to get them in the door. And then we make it as easy to buy. So we make our customers feel like it's easy to call us and easy to buy from us. And then another thing that we do, this is William, we have dog biscuits on every truck. So when the customer has a dog, we ask first, can we give your dog a biscuit? So we always have those, just something else to set us apart. If someone buys a boiler or a furnace or a water heater from us, we have wine delivered to their home. This is usually wrapped in cellophane, and it's left at their front doorstep, so this is hand-delivered. And the little note that you see in there is asking them to enjoy the wine in their nice cooler, nice warm house, and to please post a picture on social media for us. If we screw up, which happens, we will send the customer flowers. And we will just say, you know what? we will totally own it and be like, you know what, we screwed up, we are sorry, we really hope that you'll give us another chance. So we just use FTD, and we send sunflowers because we're sunshine, so that's what we send. So we're pretty excited about that. Our guys also have like goodies on the truck, so they'll have some sunshine like water bottles they'll have, or they'll have these little balls, and we have beach balls. So if there's children in the home, we ask the parents first, and then we sometimes will give the kids toys or give them to the parents for the children. The hotels, you know, I know that there's some contractors out there that do this, but if we cannot get to you and you have no heat or no hot water, and it's sort of like because we're overbooked, it's below freezing, and we know that we're going to probably replace your furnace or what have you, we will put you in a hotel. And it costs about $100-something. There's a local hotel nearby that we use. And there is nothing that excites people more than getting put in a hotel if we can't get their heat working. It just totally blows them away, and for $100, it is so worth it. Another thing that we do, and I know a lot of people do this, but we make sure that all of our trucks and most of our cars, too, for all of the office staff, we have heaters in everybody's cars and trucks all winter long. And then what we started doing this summer, if we could not get your air conditioner up and running fast enough, we went and bought some of these portable air conditioning units from Home Depot. And, you know, as the season started winding down, they ended up getting cheaper and cheaper. People are really blown away by this. So we just come and put in temporary air conditioner in their house. So that's pretty fun. And then the moments of truth is what we call is when it really counts to impress with your service. You know, it's usually maybe when you screw up. And my husband has always had a saying is that a company's true customer service nature doesn't show up until there's a problem. And there's gonna be a problem. It's just how are you gonna handle it? So either you could choose to ignore it, you could choose to just kind of brush it under the rug, or you could try to just own it and say, we screwed up, how can we fix this, and what can we do to repair this relationship moving forward? So one of the things is listing how many moments of truth, and you can do that in your own business and say, you know, when was a time where we really shined, and how can we get back to that vibe again? And I encourage you, you know, you may be doing some of these things, and you may have done some of these things in the past, or you may have heard someone else doing it and you thought it was a good idea. So all I'm encouraging you to do now is one of these little ideas that we are doing, or it's something that you have done in the past, maybe it's just time to get back to basics. A new year is approaching, and you know that's always a good time to rework your marketing plan and your budget for next year and see, you know, what wow things that you could put into your customer service strategy that will really make people impressed and really continue to stay with you and once again reduce those costs in marketing and have raving fans out there. And here's the thing I was talking to you about earlier, why do people leave? And it's because they feel you don't care. And so, you know, do your customers feel that way? And maybe not, and maybe they do, or maybe you don't even know. So I encourage you to just think through that. So we really try to create a difference between ourselves and others, and it really does set us apart, and that's hence all of the awards and the growth and all of that, just because we're different. And we just continue to try and be different every single day. And there's William making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We were giving them out at our team meeting every week, and the guys would hand them out to homeless people. But then what we found is that a lot of homeless people didn't really want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They wanted money or what have you. And then, so the techs would get discouraged, and then we started finding a whole bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches underneath people's seats. So we stopped doing that. But what we do is we go to the food shelter, the food bank, and we hand out food. And we go as a smaller team once a month, but the big group of us goes probably every quarter. And we bring everybody down there on a Friday morning for 2 hours. Everyone gets paid, and we feed the homeless in our community. We also do something where we have a pay it forward, where William will tape money underneath people's chairs at the team meeting, and it will be their job to go out and spend that money somehow in the community, and come back and tell the story of how they spent the money. And it's not a lot. It's usually between $5 and $20, but it's just something fun that we do to sort of get ourselves out there in the community. And there's William in the toilet, and a photo of the cool brownies that we order from Send Out Cards. And I think that's about it. I mean, we have a guarantee, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, but just making sure that you are getting the word out about this to other people, and making sure all your clients know about it. So I haven't seen any questions come up. So Wayne, I'm wondering if there were no questions, or am I just not seeing them?
There are actually a couple. There's one question, but then I also got a lot of comments, just saying great ideas and so forth. So I am seeing some feedback. But one question here: what is the ratio of advertising dollars spent on PPC campaigns compared to home service review sites like Angie's List and Yelp?
Okay, I don't spend any money on Angie's List at all, because that's not the way it works in our market. On Yelp, I spend $550 a month. I'm at that level, and I am doing Yelp pay-per-click, which is something new that they just rolled out a couple months ago. And I'll tell you, our Yelp activity and our numbers went through the roof when we did that. We were kind of like on the beta test. And my pay-per-click, it's a little hard to tell you exactly what the number is, and this is why. Our website, and I encourage you guys to go take a look at it, sunshineplumbingheating.com. We're in Henderson, Colorado. We pay them $2,500 a month. So part of that goes to pay for the website, and the other part is the pay-per-click. So I'm probably spending about $2,000 a month on the pay-per-click with them, and that's what we're spending, and I can increase that if I need to.
What is the best way to get buy-in from your technicians to get them to ask for a review?
Okay, so on ReviewBuzz, you can offer prizes. Okay, so we started out with the prizes like being really low. Like for 1,000 points, I think you could get a $25 card to Home Depot, or a gas card, or whatever. And the prizes kept going up and up and up and up and up. And at 40,000 points, you win a trip for 2 to Mexico. And what that trip for 2 is it's my timeshare that I haven't used a couple of weeks, so I have them in the bank. So I'm going to give them my timeshare for a week, and I'm going to give them $500 Southwest Airlines voucher, and they're going to get to go to Mexico for a week. And that's the top prize. So they're all excited about getting reviews because they can win prizes. And we bring it up every week, and we share those every single week in the team meeting.
Awesome. And here's another one. With all these value adds, are you one of the more expensive services in the area?
You know what? I say we're probably – oh, go, sorry.
I'm sorry. And it just continues with how do you deal with price complaints?
Well, we probably are in the middle of the pack because we have Applewood in our market. So I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're a big Nexstar plumbing company. They're huge, and their average dollar per ticket's around $1,000. Okay, so compared to Applewood, we are nowhere near that. Our average ticket is around $400 and something. So we're definitely not the cheapest, but we're not anywhere near the most expensive. So that's normally what I say to people. I'll say, you know what, we're not as cheap as the handyman or your cousin's nephew who can, do this work for, has no overhead. We're definitely not that person, but we're going to be able to stand behind the work because we are a reputable company that, we're going to be here for you. So that's usually how I am able to overcome that.
Perfect. And that actually just answers a bunch of questions that people had as well.
Good. Well, if anybody would like to speak with me one-on-one, you can feel free to email me. My email is susan@sunshinepha, like plumbing, heating, air.com. And I'd be happy to hear from anyone on this call or anyone within the PHCC. If you have questions or ideas or just want to run something, feel free, just shoot an email and I'll get back to you within a day.